G'day, welcome back. I'd especially like to welcome my new subscribers, and I hope you enjoy the content of my channel. If you missed part 2 of the little tailstock for the mill build, link up there now, go watch that first, then come back and watch this one. Now before I get started on this week's episode, for those of you who didn't see that video, or didn't watch it all the way to the end, I announced in that video that, you know, at 66 and having been retired for 20 years, I'm starting to feel a little bit, you know, tired and run down, because this YouTube channel has become, well, starting to feel like a job. I can spend so much time every week out here doing things, and then damn near as much time sitting at my desk editing it. You know, it's just become too much. Now I'm not going to stop if that's what you're worried about, but what I am going to do is I'm going to back off. I'm not going to come out here as much. You know, if I have lunch and think I could do with a poppy nap, I'm going to go and have a poppy nap. I'm not going to come out here and stand here and, you know, try and meet a deadline to get a video out. So if I get a video finished in time to publish that week, there'll be a video. If I don't, there won't. So that's the way it's going to be, because I'm not going to work myself into the ground just to make videos for YouTube. Anyway, so that's I haven't said all that. Let's follow me over to the bench and we'll get on with what we're going to do this week. Over there. Alrighty, so the title of this is a model steam engine, my way. It's going to be my way because I looked into kits and things and they're just far too rich for my blood. And generally speaking, they're all cast iron, which is, you know, what steam engines are traditionally made out of. But I have a lot of stuff here lying around and I keep looking at it going, I think I can make a steam engine out of that. Now, I did mention when I made the pallet that it'll never ever get run on steam. So, you know, pressure is high pressure, and the effects steam has on things really won't play a part in this because it'll only ever get run on air. And the aim is just to build a functional steam engine, something that will work the way it should work when I put some air pressure on it. So what you're looking at on the bench there is a flywheel. Somewhere hiding in there is a crankshaft. I've got all these you know, bits of castings, aluminium, that I'm going to use if I can. This one I already know I'm going to use that for. That will be the, I think they call it the valve chest, something like that. Mounts onto the side of the main cylinder. It'll come out of that. I've got to make up these two parts here, this one and this one, and they will come out of all these bits and pieces here, I hope. Except for some others, I've got to use some thicker stuff to make up the main cylinder part of that top casting. I'm not even familiar with all the names of these things. I've never made a model engine before. And I'll also have to make up some other round bits. I'd like to try and make a cylinder out of one of these, but I don't know that I can. Maybe I can. I'll have to measure up, see if I can get it out of it or not. I think I might be able to. Then I'll have to cast it. So wherever I can, the cast iron bits will be made out of aluminium instead of cast iron, because I hate machining cast iron. And you know, I think I'm still cleaning the damn mess up that I made machining the weights and stuff I did to make the rotary table. This will be interesting because I'm going to machine that. It'll have 6 spokes in it by the time I'm finished with it, so that'll be interesting in itself, because I'll machine all that out in the on the rotary table after getting it ready on the lathe. There may be some side projects. I saw this thing here while I was cruising around on AliExpress the other day, and I looked at the price of it, and at 120 something Australian dollars, I thought, I'm not paying that. I do have a tilting vise, but you know, a tilting pallet would be pretty handy for some of this stuff, because there's holes that need to be drilled on specific angles and all that sort of stuff. So just hang on for a sec. Because I machined these bits into my pallet, holding that in the vise on an angle is going to be an issue, because you're not going to be able to grab it by much. So I think I might try and turn this into one of these things as a side project. We'll see when we get around to doing that. But anyway, I expect this will take many weeks to do. I don't have too much else on my in the back of my mind to make anyway. So, and the fact that I'm going to back off means it'll probably take longer than it should. Some episodes might only be 15 minutes long. Might only be machining this up or machining the crankshaft up or whatever. But that's what I'm going to do. So follow me along if you want to. Stick around for however long it takes, and we'll see if we can't make an air operated steam engine out of this menagerie here. Alrighty, not off to taking it easy start. Spent all freaking day making these two bits. Probably the most complicated little parts I think I've ever formed up out of a piece of foam. This one looks a bit different to this one, but the cast iron model comes with a little brass, I'd say it's an extrusion. There's a flat top and a round bottom to make the bearings for here. But, well, I haven't got any of that, couldn't be bothered trying to make it up. So what I'm going to try and get is a couple of bronze bushes and bore a hole in. What I want to do is slit these, but before I do that, I'll work out the right height. It's probably way too high there at the moment. And then drill and tap them for some bolts, and then slit the thing, right? And then bolt them back together, and then bore a hole in it for a bronze bush to carry the crankshaft. So that's the way I'm going to go about that. A bit different to the way the kit models are made, but I think that should cast up alright. I bloody hope so. It's been pretty overcast here. It's stinking hot, but overcast. So I'm hoping it's sunny tomorrow. And if it is high, well, the first thing tomorrow morning I'll get some plaster on these, get them out in the sun and get them dried up. And then I'll get on with some machining, probably tomorrow, because tomorrow's shopping day. Get on with some machining, and then maybe Wednesday morning, if it's fine, I'll cast these things up. Where I get on the machining then this week's another story. Anyway, that's them sort of ready. I've still got to put some sprues on them yet, but that's them basically. Alrighty, so I got those two bits all plastered up this morning, and they're out in the sun drying, but they definitely won't be left out there when we go shopping, because the forecast for today and every day till the middle of next week sometime is for storms and rain. But anyway, that's why I wanted to get them made up, and if I get a fine sunny morning I can just jump in and cast them up instead of sweating on the weather. So while I'm waiting for she and Must Be a Bait to come back from wherever the hell she is at the moment, go shopping, I'll get started on this. I actually contemplated welding this up, but I think I can get that. The originals were, the kit ones are 3-inch, but I'm working in metric, so this will be 75 millimeters, and I think I can get below that and still stay around 75 mil. Yeah, it's 80 mil at the moment, so I'll get all that off there and I'll come back to you. Well, that should be 75 or thereabouts. Close enough, probably. Close enough for me. I meant to tell you before, this is the piece that I milled out of the centre of my steady rest when I made it. I've got to admit, when I was milling it out, I was thinking back then this would make a good flywheel for an engine. Alrighty, now from memory this is a piece of 1 inch. It's only a bit of scrap binium that I picked up, but it's machining up quite nicely. Bloody swarf everywhere here at the moment. Oh, that's only 20 mil. Now, how wide am I going to make this flywheel? 12. So take 6 off the front and 2 off the back, I think. Oh yeah, so we'll face this thing down. I have to have a look at my power feed, but it's can't control the speed of the little controller I've got in there, must have shit itself. Well, once again, I'll bring you back when I get down. 6 mil is going to take a while to pull off there. I'll bring you back later. Alrighty, so I had to change the mind a bit going in there 6 mil. That's just a bit too much, I reckon. I'll get in now and machine the guts out of it for where the spokes have got to go. Damn, it's hot here today. I'm sweating profusely. It's only 10 o'clock. Well, this thing goes with it sticking out that far. Might have to knock it back in a bit. I think I shall knock that back in a bit. Alrighty, so that improved the outer sight. Put a new tip in there as well, which kind of helps. As per usual, I'm making this up as I go, and I was going to go in 4mm, but that's 3. But I think it's I better go and sit down and have a little think about just how deep I want to go in there, so I don't end up making where the spokes are a bit too thin. Anyway, that's about all I've got time for now. Let's take she must be evade shopping, so I might do some more of this afternoon, I might not. Damn, I hate shopping with my wife. Today was a right ordeal. She's what I call a shotgun shopper. Just runs all over the bloody place instead of trying to do it sort of methodically from one end of the store to the other. Hopeless. I spent half an hour standing waiting for it one stage. Alrighty, so I just want to finish this side today. I don't want to do any more than that today, and then I'll get on with the rest of it tomorrow. I worked it out. You can go another millimetre in there and things will be honky-dory. Alrighty, so I went in there 5mm in the end, because at 4mm from both sides I'd end up with a 10mm thick spoke, but I reckon 8's probably more than enough. Alrighty, just clean this centre up a bit, run it in reverse and do it from that side. What size we got there? 24, I get in about 16. Fair bit come off that bit. 4.5. Bring you back in a minute. Alrighty, so what I've done, I've switched. I was using a 0.2 radius tip and I've changed over to a 0.8 radius tip so we're not so sharp at corners. Alrighty, I'll turn it around and do this out a bit, but I'll bring you back later. Trying the same shit, different side. Well, I've got to say, I'm loving the finishes I've got in there with this 0.8 radius tip. But anyway, just going to put a chamfer on here and this side will be done. I've ended up with a slight step there, but I'm not coming back over this side to try and get rid of it for what it's worth. But bloody chatter there, I'll get rid of that. A little bit of chatter in the bottom corner here too, but then it's too hard to try and get that out of there. Alrighty, so like I said, pretty happy with the way that's come up. Not bad for a bit of scrapinium. Alrighty, so that's me for today. I've had enough. Too freaking hot out here. Alrighty, so I got that fine sunny morning I was looking for, so I've cast these up. This one here, that was just the excess, but that might work out good to make the cylinder with, because that can was lying on the ground out here from the last lot and it got a little bit deformed. Anyway, after spending the amount of time I spent on those making up those foam bits, I've really got my fingers crossed that these are going to come out right. This is the most complicated one, this one. Oh, yippee-ki-yay. Beautiful. I am really, really pleased with how that's come up. See how the other one went. Ah, no. Didn't make it to the bottom. Bastard. Oh, at least that was the least complicated one, so I'll have to re-pour that, I suppose. Bugger, that's the base. Huh. Anyway, I guess I was kind of asking it a lot to feed all the way to the bottom with just these thin bits here. I think I'll remake this. I might have to run a piece down here to help feed it down to the bottom, then just machine it out afterwards. Bummer about that, but I am glad about the other one. Actually, this one here, I might be better off just making that solid and just machine it out, all this in here out afterwards. It might be the best bet to cast that one up. So that'll just get remelted to make a new one. Alright, so I've had to switch the 4-jaw to get this thing to run true. There's a little tick in it. Maybe it's that blue line there, jumping over that. But it's about 100th to run out. I did trim it off this face and this face, but this is as good as I can get it. I spent ages on it. This is not a bloody fantastic dial gauge either. It's about 100th. That's all. I think I can live with that. Now, I'm not going to bother video on this side. I've spent enough time videoing the other side. It's exactly the same bloody thing, different side. Now, after a quick lick on the belt sander on the bottom there and off this face where I cut the screw off, and a quick rub with the wire brush on the bench grinder, this has come up pretty good. I'm really happy with how this came out. A few little imperfections that'll need probably puttying up if I don't machine them off. That one there, a big one there, and big one there and there. These two look pretty ratty at the moment. By the time I machine them up, they'll look okay, I hope. This is a bit pitted, but you know, I'll just machine that off a little bit. I can't take too much off it, but that gets bolted down like that, so you never see any pits that are left in there. But like I said, I'm pretty happy with the way that's come up. This will get machined a little bit round here, not a lot, but a bit. So yeah, anyway, not going to get much done today, bardo today. So turn this camera off now and I'll get started on here for, I've only got maybe half an hour, 45 minutes before I'm going to have to do something about lunch. So I'll get into that. I'll come back later. I'll bring you back when I'm just about done on this, which is probably going to be tomorrow. Well, that didn't take me anywhere near as long as the other side, but I have to admit I've stuffed this up. When I went in the extra yesterday, I went into 5mm. Should have stopped when I got the 3 because that centre bit now is only about 6mm thick, not 8. So anyway, doesn't matter. End up with a 6mm, 8mm wide, 6mm thick spoke. So only a toy, I don't know. It's only a model. So all I got to do now to finish the lathe work on this is bore that out to 8mm and just polish this side up a bit. But I'm going to go have some lunch. I've had enough. It's stinking hot here once again. Alrighty, so I've got a half hour to spare before I head off to the bar. So I just thought I'd try and clean the bottom of this up a bit so it's nice and flat so I can bolt it to the pallet and machine the rest of it. To get it reasonable, I got the biggest, widest parallel that I've got, sat it on the top, just ran backwards and forwards that way until I got it to within a couple of hundredths, and then backward and forward this way until I got it within a couple of hundredths. So I'm just going to take some really light passes on here because well, I've got some shims and shit in there to try and square it up a bit. Anyway, here goes nothing. Just hope it doesn't tear it out. That kind of suggests it's not very flat, but anyway, doesn't matter. Everything will go off this base, I suppose. Well, I've got to admit, I had to take a lot more off there than I had intended to take off. 0.75 in the end. I've got to admit, this area here was pretty bad, and I did expect it to warp a little bit when I cast it, but not that much. I was tempted to, when I was really bad here, to just stop and put some of that 2-pack epoxy in there, but I can always put a bit out in there and just sand it, because like I said, you can't see this surface because it gets bolted down. So at least I know it's nice and flat and I can work from that surface for the others, everything else. time for a beer. At this point in the video, I'd like to thank my patrons. Their continued support is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to become a patron, there's a link down in the description. You can sign up there and drop me a couple of dollars every month. If you don't want to be a regular contributor, there's always buy me a coffee. Now, let's get back to the build. Alrighty, a couple of weeks back when I mentioned that I'd got some stickers made, I also said that I had a couple heading my way from Australia. They have not appeared. They're sitting in a dead letter office somewhere or whatever, but it's, I don't know, must be 6 or 7 weeks now since they were posted. Around the same time they posted them, I posted stickers to them, and they had them within about a fortnight or 3 weeks. The ones coming this way just haven't eventuated. So with the kind permission of both Mark Presling and Matty from Matty's workshop, I've reproduced theirs and just printed them out on a bit of paper and laminated them, hit them with a bit of spray adhesive and stuck them to the door to get the ball rolling. And of course one of my stickers. Now I'll put a link for all 3 of these gentlemen in the description of this video. Rusty has been there for a while now. He was the first sticker I had. Didn't do a very good job of repairing that one because I had to take it off the wall a couple of times, and I was building this cupboard and I kind of tore it. But anyway, so it got the same treatment, lamination. Rusty does some pretty interesting stuff. Here's a shaper and a couple of lathes, and he does some pretty weird and wonderful stuff at times, and it's well worth checking out his channel. His real name is Michelle. Matty does some absolutely fantastic work. He just built a boring and facing head a while back, which was just astounding. Beautiful work. Well worth checking out his channel if you've never looked there. Mark Presling, he's a fellow Queenslander like me. He also does some pretty amazing stuff. He also does a bit of woodworking and some casting like I do. Although he uses sand casting, he doesn't use the lost foam like I do. But he also does plating and all sorts of stuff, but he is a pretty fastidious guy in what he makes. So his channel is definitely worth a look as well. Well, I've got a few things to do over the next few days, so I don't have much more time this week, so I'm going to call this video to a close. If I get enough done, we'll see you all next week again. And if you got something out of this video, make sure you give it a great big thumbs up and smash that like button, because you know it helps me out. Alrighty, so thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye bye.